Hey guys, on today's recipe video, we are making whole food plant-based, easy to make, healthy, delicious taquitos, perfect for dinner or your upcoming Super Bowl party. I really hope you can stick around and see exactly how these tasty taquitos are made. To get started on our easy whole food plant-based taquitos, we're really just gonna need a few ingredients, and that is I'm using 8 corn tortillas. Now the only ingredients are these are water, corn flour, and lime. Now if you're having a little bit of trouble finding these at your local grocery store, I'd recommend going and checking out maybe an Oriental grocery store. They seem to always have these on stock, and they come in big packs, like 50 if you need them. So we always have these in the fridge. Now since I do keep these in the fridge, and I know most people do, we are gonna go ahead and cool or warm them up a little bit before we roll them. That way they don't go ahead and break. So we will get to that in a second. I've also got 1 cup of fat-free refried beans. Now this is my easy Instant Pot refried bean recipe, but you do not have to use that. You can most certainly go to the store and find some great fat-free refried beans that the only ingredients in them are beans, garlic, onion powder, and maybe some salt. Now that's the one benefit of making your own, is you can keep the salt level down, but for a recipe like this, a store-bought will work just as well. And to go ahead and get started on this, I wanted to mention this is going to be the start of my Super Bowl recipes. As most of you know, I'm a former football player. I'm a big football fan, and so the big day, the Super Bowl, is coming up shortly, so we're going to get ready and have some recipes made for it. But I've got the oven heated to 400 degrees right now. Now I've got a baking sheet lined with parchment paper, and so to get started, I'm going to take my corn tortillas, and you do not have to be too particular with it. I just want to get them all on here, and it's not like we're trying to get them to bake off or anything. We just want them to warm up. So I'm going to get these in the oven for around 4 to 5 minutes at 400 degrees, just so that they warm up, so that they're more easily able to roll up, and so they won't break when we make our taquitos. So I'm going to get these in the oven, and we'll be back when they are done heating up. Our timer just went off. Here I have the tortilla shells that have been heated up a little bit. Like I said, I don't want them to burn. I just want to make them nice and pliable. So this is perfect. Now I'm just going to stack them up and get them over here. Now they are a bit hot, but they are handleable. So now here's where we're going to bring in the refried beans. Now you don't have to be super particular with it. You can be, but I do think that this is a great recipe for, like I said, the Super Bowl. So you might make 100 of these. This can be easily replicated to make a ton of them. And so just going ahead, getting going with it is pretty easy. But I would say around 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons in each. Now all we did was just put that in there. Now I like to get that towards the middle. Set that down. And we're just going to roll it nice and tight. Now you can make them, you can put a little bit less in there and make them even tighter, or you can put more in there, excuse me, and make them even bigger, but that's about the perfect size for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this with all of them. And now we've got our last one. Now, like I had mentioned, this is honestly such a good recipe for parties, because we can go ahead and, I mean, this recipe can honestly be duplicated. This has 8 in them. You could make this recipe times 5, times 10, make 80 of them. Seriously, and like I said, these tortillas really cheap. You can find them at most stores. And so, a really cheap, really delicious menu item for your upcoming Super Bowl party, or really anytime. We'll have these as snacks, but the oven is still at 400 degrees. Now I'm gonna put them in for 8 minutes. I'm gonna take them out then and we'll turn them, but we'll be back in 8 minutes after they've been in, and we'll see that they've crisped up a little bit. All right, our 8-minute timer just went off. You can see that the taquitos are hot, but they've crisped up right there towards the top, which is just what we want. Now all we're gonna do, now if you need to, you can use some sort of utensil to do this, but we're just going to flip them over and then we're gonna put them in at 400 degrees one more time for roughly 8 to 10 minutes. So you'll check at about 8, and if they need a few more minutes to crisp up, then that'll be perfect for you. So we're gonna get these in, and I'll be back here in just a few minutes. Our timer just went off, so I'm gonna open these up and see how they look. Oh, they smell absolutely fantastic. Now, while I was waiting that last 8 minutes, I went ahead and poured my favorite taco sauce and then my favorite salsa. So that's my preferred way to eat these taquitos. But let me just pull one up here. As you can tell, perfectly crispy there. If you can hear that. But no oil, absolutely whole food plant-based and delicious. And like I said, you can go ahead and make 50, 100, 200 of these for your upcoming Super Bowl party. Really anything that you need a good amount of food for, these will work perfectly for it. So I'm gonna let these cool off for just a second while I speak to, well, I'll let them cool off, but I'm gonna go ahead and give one a try. I would recommend letting them cool off. Let me rephrase that. But normally you can't wait too long because they're just so tasty. So I think I'm gonna go with my salsa here. Give that a good dip. Absolutely fantastic. I love these guys. Like I said, I'll make these for Dr. Miller and myself at nighttime, really whenever we're hungry or if we're feeling like we want some Mexican food or we want some taquitos. Really simple, can be done in just a few short minutes, and the result turns out great every single time. If you guys want to go ahead and give this one a try, you make sure to check out the recipe. As with all my past and future recipes, they can be found at plantbasedgabriel.com. And if you go ahead and give this recipe a try, please let me know how it goes on Facebook and YouTube. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button on Facebook and YouTube to get up to date whenever I post a new recipe video, something happening around our vegan and organic farm, or maybe I'll just post a video of my 2 English bulldogs. But anyway, you will be able to know when it happens right away if you do subscribe. So I am Plant-Based Gabriel. Thanking you so very much for watching. I'm hoping that we have a great Super Bowl and that you can fill your house and your party with a bunch of whole food plant-based foods that are healthy, easy to make, and delicious. So I will hopefully see you guys very, very soon. You're good.